Ernie Johsnon back here on the Rich Eisen Show. How are you, Ernie?
Rich, I'm great. It's always good talking to you, man. How are you?
I am great. I don't know if you heard the caller before our break giving you a shout out, calling you his hero. I would wonder what you think of when you hear stuff like that.
Well,
Ernie.
I heard the last few seconds of that, and I believe it was Jason in New York.
Yep.
No, that's very humbling. I appreciate that. I'm not deserving of that, but I appreciate the sentiments, and I guess he was referring to that
the E60 piece.
E60 piece.
How much do you hear about that, Ernie?
Every day.
No kidding.
Rich, it's been staggering, and I told Jeremy Schaap, who was honored by the Muscular Dystrophy Association here about 3 or 4 weeks ago. I was on the road doing baseball, so I had to record a greeting to him. But I told him, I said he changed my life and the lives of our family by doing that piece, because I think it opened the eyes of a lot of folks on things like special needs kids and adoption and that kind of thing, and father-son relationship, and I hear about it every day from people who have seen it online or have seen it reshown, and no, it's very humbling, and I can't thank those guys enough at ESPN. Dan Lindbergh was the producer for the job they did, because we had no idea how that was going to turn out or what direction they would take on it. But
well, how do you do it, Ernie? And by that I mean this: 4 kids. You're talking. Your son Michael adopted. Has you talking about his needs with his form of muscular dystrophy, and you're working till 2 a.m. in your Atlanta studios, or you're flying off to Toronto for an ALCS game. I mean, how do you pull it off?
I got an unbelievable wife, number one, Cheryl,
right.
Who, we've been married 34 years, and we're teammates, and we know that, that there's just a lot that goes into our lives, and, with 6 kids and 4 adopted, and we have, 2 of them are grown and have their own kids, and so we're grandparents too, and, but, every day, Mike, we have to do everything for Michael, and, we have an overnight nurse from 10 p.m. to 10 a.m., but the rest of the time it's us and it's our family. And so, like today, my oldest son, Eric, who's 32, brought over his 4-month-old son, Everett, and they're going to hang out with Michael and take care of him and make lunch and that kind of thing. So it's a total team effort. It's everybody in our family pitching in, and it's a wonderful ride. It really is.
Ernie Johsnon joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. Before we get to hoops, you had a front row seat for the Indians Doubters tour, right? I mean, seriously. I mean, this is supposed to be Big Papi's turn, right?
Right.
And then the Blue Jays, after thoroughly thumping the Rangers, was supposed to teach the Indians a lesson. And now here they are with a chance to win 1 of 2 games at home for the whole shooting match. Ernie?
Yeah. I mean, I think this, to me, Rich, has been a team that all year long has kind of thrived on the doubt. They looked at it and said, well, Michael Brantley's out. I don't know what you're going to do in that division. I don't know if you can make the playoffs without Michael Brantley. And then you lose Carrasco from the starting rotation and Salazar. There's no way you're going to win a playoff series if you take 2 of your starters out of the rotation, and they sweep the Red Sox and they knock off Toronto. And so I think they've kind of been thriving on that, and they looked at it too and said, now you got to take on the team with the best record in baseball, and I think that's kind of the way they live, and they kind of enjoy the fact that folks are saying, well, I don't know how you're going to do it, but they find a way, and they've got a very underrated lineup top to bottom, and you've seen that from Perez in the 9-hole getting things done to Jose Ramirez, who filled in so well and provided a lot of the offensive numbers that they didn't get with Brantley, and so. No, this is a team that finds a way. And the only downside to working fan night tonight on NBA TV is being unable to kind of watch Game 6 of the World Series. But I'll try to find a way to sneak in a little bit here and there.
Yeah, he could sneak a monitor in there for you, Ernie. I mean, you're a multitasker. You do that.
But we got 9 games going on in the league tonight.
That's true.
So, you got to be watching a lot of stuff.
Okay. Well, maybe, like I said, look, if you can juggle Charles and Kenny and Shaq, you can do anything. Ernie.
Can't really juggle them way too much.
Well, figuratively juggle them, And I know
we'll find a way tonight.
Yes, and I know the association has not been around as long as Major League Baseball, but who would the Cubs of the NBA be, Ernie? Would you go with the Clippers? Who'd you go with on that front in the association?
Yeah, Clippers would be a good call looking for a title. I mean, the Atlanta Hawks have won one in I think 58 when they were in St. Louis. But no, the Cubs. That's the gold standard of. When you look at a drought and you look at, when you have a drought that long and then you get all the curses that come in and reasons why it can't happen and that kind of thing. So, yeah, I guess, they stand alone in terms of just the dry spell without a World Series.
Well, the stellar production staff of the show just got in my ear after I asked that question. They're like, maybe it's the Cavs, right? Maybe the Cavs were the Cubs of the NBA, and the Cubs could become the Cavs of Major League Baseball in a way.
And then you get a chance. Too with the Indians and Cavs both, to win it, months apart. That'd be unbelievable. That would be insane.
There's nothing like that, right? I mean, of night one of the World Series happening across the street of a team that broke a long streak. Yeah. Handing out the rings and raising the banners across the street. I mean, the only thing would be similar to that because the A's and the Warriors currently play across the street, across a thoroughfare from each other. I mean, you could flip a tennis ball and hit each facility from the other.
Yeah, well, we were there opening night when the rings were being given out.
Right.
And Game 1 of the World Series. Now you got Game 6 being played as Cleveland plays Houston tonight on NBA TV. I might add.
There you go.
6 o'clock. They moved it up because of the World Series, so the game's at 6. But
right.
No, those things are next door. I mean, we saw Mike Napoli, hit a towering shot foul that that bounces where fans are standing next to the queue. So they are that close. And I know a lot of the Cavaliers tonight are planning on walking across the parking lot and going over and watching Game 6 as soon as they get done with the Rockets.
Yeah, Rockets and Cavs have bumped up the start time. Again, that's at 6 p.m. That's tomorrow night.
No, tonight.
That's tonight. Pardon me. That's tonight. Pardon me. Warriors and Blazers at 10 p.m. And then comes the big one, right? Then comes the big one on Thursday night.
Be even bigger. I mean, it's going to be big, but it'd be even bigger if it was an OKC.
Yeah.
I mean, if Durant walking back in that building would be
right. So crazy. Warriors and Thunder at 10:30 p.m. Eastern time, and so let's hit this one here, Ernie. Right? I mean, because you've got yourself Russell Westbrook doing already what we kind of expected him to take things single-handedly, but what do you think that game means to Westbrook and OKC, even though it's just regular season, but it's the first one? What do you think?
I think they'll probably try to downplay it and say it's one of 82 on the schedule, but it's not that. Guys will talk that kind of game, but that's going to be special. And I think it's going to be special because Russell knows how close OKC came to going to the NBA Finals last year. Taking Golden State to a Game 7, and he and Durant could not get that done, but I think he takes that personally, and I think that's no matter what you hear before the game, that's going to hold a very special spot for Russell Westbrook to try to come out and beat his former teammate, and much less the Golden State Warriors.
Ernie, enjoy that. Enjoy everything that's going on with you. Say hi to Charles, Kenny, and Shaq for all of us here, and we'll chat down the line.
Yeah, and I'll say hey to Chris Webber and Kevin McHale and Greg Anthony too, because they'll be working with us tonight on the
There you go.
Extravaganza.
As you know,
it's almost seamless. It's almost seamless, unless except that I telegraph those promos.
No, you don't, Ernie. Actually, you worked him in very well. Trust me, I do what you do for a living as well.
We do.
And I have been brought on for other radio shows and being asked about things other than the things that I'm on that I'd like to promote. And I try my best to slip them into my answers. Well, with the Cavs and the Rockets playing tonight as well. That's why you've got the trophies on the shelf, Ernie. That was
6 o'clock Eastern, only on NBA TV.
Well done, Ernie. We'll chat soon.
Rich, always a pleasure.
Always right back at you.
And to Jason from New York, thank you too.
You bet. Now, thank you on behalf of all the people that Jason from New York represents at Turner Sports EJ.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.